As he moves away from you and toward you and rolls the airplane around, that airplane's going to change color. As he climbs through 400, 500, 600 feet above the ground, he's got what he needs to do just a little bit of aerobatic flight for you. Snap rolls the airplane once, and now it reverses that roll with an aileron roll to the right. With me here on the stage, Brian Norris, the team coordinator for Team Oracle. And Brian, you've been working with Bill Stein a long time, haven't you?
That's right, Rob. Unfortunately, I've known Bill from his time with the Red Baron Stearman Squadron, and most recently as the coach of the collaborators, and also personally, I've been doing a lot of fun with Bill to
moving quick, dude.
So he's an awesome individual to fly with, and you'll see just how great of a pilot he is in his demonstration.
Right, 3/4 of a snap roll. Now watch him run it out of airspeed. He almost reaches the clouds, kicks on the left rudder pedal, comes back in with the power, puts it into a 3/4 turn spin, and then brings it back to show center. How many horsepower in this Zipco Edge, Brian?
The engine that Bill's flying right now, Rob, is approximately 320 horsepower.
So that's just about what he needs to keep up with these outside maneuvers that he will do with the collaborators as he does a reverse 1/2 of a loop, slowing the airplane down, letting it settle as he goes into a falling leaf. Watch this. He's right on the edge of a stall. You can see the aileron, the wings going back and forth just a little bit, slowing it. Now the power will come in as he slows it down, pulls the nose up. Watch it. 325 horsepower. He's actually gaining altitude, working on the hover.
Wow, dude.
Yeah, Rob, he's actually only using right now about 90% of the horsepower available. Keep in mind that this aircraft has probably 3 times to 4 times the horsepower of your average passenger car, and it weighs maybe 1/3 as much, so you can see exactly what that's capable of.
It's extremely maneuverable with a roll rate of some 400 degrees every second. It is a dizzying roll rate where if you got a clear day, it's green, blue, green, blue, green, blue, green, blue really fast, isn't it?
That's right, Rob. And actually, the most people in the audience are probably most familiar with this particular aircraft because it is used extensively in the Red Bull Air Race competitions, which are held all around the world, and also extensively in world-class aerobatic competitions.
Now, as you look at this super slow roll, you can actually see the aircraft change color. It has one of the most unique paint jobs that I've ever seen in my life. And I don't know how he does it, but it's pretty phenomenal.
Well, I've talked to Bill about the paint, and I'm not sure exactly who makes it, but it's a chromatic paint, they call it. And the only thing I know about it is that the paint costs to about $2,000 per
I lost him, dude.
Yeah. I don't know what makes it do what it does, but it is pretty cool.
Well, it's expensive enough that I'm not going to be doing that in my living room, I tell you. He does a barrel roll. That's a very, very complicated, simple looking but complicated maneuver, isn't it?
Yeah, and actually you'll see the collaborators, Rob, do the barrel roll. It involves pitch change, roll change, and actually if you do what we call a military style barrel roll, the aircraft will change heading by 90 degrees, and it doesn't really make sense when you're watching from the ground. When you're in the airplane, you do notice that 90-degree heading change.
What the hell?
Now, what he did there, he started, watch him kick the rudder. That's a dink, and then puts it into a knife edge spin. Using that rudder real hard. That dink maneuver is to train early on aerobatic pilots to understand the gyroscopic action.
I didn't know you could drift in an airplane.
I didn't know 325 horsepower engine and the propeller to make it look like a gyro to make the airplane tumble. Now you have to do that as well when you fly aerobatics, right?
That's right, Rob. What we're doing is, for those of you, if you remember when you were a kid, you used to take the wheel off your bicycle and spin it really fast and you try to tip it, and you would notice that the reaction was 90 degrees in the direction of the rotation and also 90 degrees to the left or the right, depending on which way you tipped it. Well, basically what Bill's doing is using that propeller, which is a high-speed spinning disc. He's using it as you did with the bicycle wheel when you were a kid. So it's not so much an aerodynamic maneuver, it's using the gyroscopic properties of the propeller to help tumble the airplane end over end.
All right, now high-speed pass. He's going for 220 miles an hour, right? Up he goes over the top. Now watch as he gets to the top. He does 1, 2, 3, and 4 snap rolls across the top. They call that the quadruple avalanche, a roll with 4 snap rolls on top. Now, a snap roll sounds very snappy and very cool, but actually, for those moments, the plane ceases to actually fly, right?
That's right, Rob. A snap roll is no different than the term you hear of a spin. It is basically a spin being performed either in a horizontal plane, vertically up, vertically down. There is no difference essentially in the inputs other than they're happening a lot faster.
This is called a knife-edged pass, Brian Norris, when the power of the engine and the vertical stabilizer and just a little bit of the fuselage provides all the lift. The wings aren't doing anything but keeping it straight up and down.
Yep, the wings basically become the vertical stabilizer. The vertical becomes the elevator, and Bill was actually using a lot of that surface area on the fuselage to help maintain his altitude. It's one of the advantages of a biplane, like you'll see Sean fly later, is being able to fly the airplane on the fuselage.
There's that dink again, kicking the rudder hard left and right. Almost 40, last pass, almost 45 degrees of rudder deflection.
That's
to make
drifting,
the
dude.
airplane go back and forth. Snap roll once and twice. How about that? Would you join me in a nice round of applause for Bill Stein from the collaborators? And Brian Norris, we're happy you're up here too to help describe that. Thanks so much for being here. And of course, the collaborators, when you get to fly, is kind of a combination of folks bringing you from the Tutima Academy of Aviation Safety and also Oracle Corporation.
That's right. Hopefully the folks will see the collaborators later. We're pretty well assured that that will happen with the weather, but the collaborators are led in flight by Sean D. Tucker, who's sitting at the end of the runway waiting to take off to do his solo performance. Sean's 27-year-old son, Eric, will be one of the wingmen on the team. He is also an instructor at our school. Benjamin Freelove, also an instructor at the Tutima Academy of Aviation Safety, will also be flying on Sean's wing. And then, of course, Bill Stein, who you just saw, flies the slot position. And anyone who's familiar with the military demonstration teams, the Thunderbirds, the Blue Angels, will learn that the slot pilot is also has the responsibility of being the safety pilot on the